The left has sunk into a black hole of insanity. After the Trump-Putin summit in Helsinki, Finland, after President Trump refused to let our disgraced and compromised intel community off the hook, liberals and GOP establishment have attacked him, saying what he did by not praising intel is treason and disgraceful. Mind you, these are the same people who cheered for an FBI official who claimed he could smell hillbilly Trump supporters. Over at the fake news network CNN, they're calling the so-called Russian hacking an act of war. From Breitbart, on Monday's edition of CNN's New Day, Chris Cuomo repeatedly accused the Russian state of waging war against America via election hacking in 2016. He offered his analysis while reporting from Helsinki, Finland, in anticipation of a meeting between President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Cuomo said meddling is an insufficiently severe word to describe election hacking. The big, ugly white elephant in the room will be the U.S. election hacking, said Cuomo. We've been calling it meddling, but I'm trying to stay away from the word because it's just way too mild. This is an act of war. Cuomo further framed his narrative of election hacking as the truth. How does Donald Trump raise the act of war of the hacking and different attacks during the U.S. election when Vladimir Putin knows damn well that President Trump doesn't really believe the truth and doesn't put a whole lot of stock in the event itself? Putin's mere arrival in Helsinki amounted to a win for the Russian president, assessed Cuomo. It's a win for Putin the moment he landed safely on the ground because he's been given legitimacy by the U.S. president. Literally the world is waiting on him to get here. But the easy win for Putin is this happening at all. He's been given legitimacy on the world stage. End of story. Animus should be directed towards the Russian president, by Trump, added Cuomo. New Day co-anchor Alison Camerota implicitly advised Trump to publicly denounce Putin towards unspecified ends. President Trump refused to condemn Putin as a ruthless leader or a foe in this new interview with ITV. Furthermore, he hasn't really called Putin a bad guy. In other words, he doesn't necessarily think that Putin's a bad guy. In fact, here's where his mindset was this morning. CNN International's Christiane Amanpour concurred with Cuomo's assertions of election hacking and war. She said, yes, it is an act of violation of sovereignty of the United States and the other European countries that have been cyber-hacked on their electoral matters. CNN's Caitlin Collins appraised Trump's rejection of the election hacking narrative as amounting to repeating exactly what the Kremlin wants to hear. At no point did any of CNN's anchors, correspondents, analysts, or guests qualify election hacking. CNN markets itself as a nonpartisan and politically objective news media outlet, branding itself the most trusted name in news.